Greetings, church family. I guess you could consider this video your monthly check-in. It's almost August, and I still don't know what the next month, or especially beyond next month, is going to hold for us. But I can tell you how I feel and what we're trying to do. First of all, we've been scattered over the summer. I understand that. It's pretty natural. Summer makes us scattered anyways, let alone with this coronavirus and having part of our people stay home for service and part of our people come to 1 hour and part of our people coming to the next hour. It just feels a little scattered. And I've been kind of proclaiming on a personal level, it's been harder to be where I would like to be spiritually. Then maybe that's a good thing. God's pruning me maybe in all this. And not everybody feels that way. Some people are doing really well. I know some people have had a lot more struggles in their life due to this corona than I have. But I just want to zero in on how it's been harder spiritually a little bit. And I look at myself and I tend to maybe overthink things. I know that God can use all things for good, so I'm counting on that in all this process of reflection and self-analyzation here. I realize that maybe I'm not trusting as well as I should in all this. It's harder to see the good. It's harder to see what God's going to do in all this. And certainly as a pastor, I have some feelings of not being a success right now. Our church isn't doing much. Our church is, again, scattered, and it just, maybe my ego's taking a hit a little bit. And so I certainly admit that all my thoughts here are not betraying who I'd like to be. But I want to be real. On the other hand, on the more positive note here, I would also say this. I think God is helping me care about broken people. That's what we set out to do a couple years ago, actually. And that was part of our goal in all this, was to develop our hearts for broken people so that we would start to care for them. And I see this community, I see this world, and my heart aches for that. So we've been really emphasizing over the summer through a sermon series called Hope that I did, and a sermon series that Nyla's currently doing, and she's doing a great job about the idea of thriving versus surviving during all this. And so we've been really emphasizing how we need to be able to overcome our circumstances, and God is giving us that goal, I think, to overcome it through Him, through His help. But frankly, there are days and times where we just cry out, "Where are you, God? The world's falling apart. Maybe my life is falling apart." And so we lament. A new word I guess I'm learning, an old word that I knew maybe new to me, about what it's like to lament to God and cry out, not only for our struggles, which are legitimate to cry out for, but lament for the world and lament for God's people and lament for the church. And I see how generations are being lost. I see how one family was really devoted, and I see how the next generation fell away. And I start to lament over, people would be brought back to God. People would come back to the church. I know the pastor always wants to see people in church, but at the same time, Jesus Christ thinks pretty highly of the church. So I'm torn here today as I talk to you, because I know where we should be, I know where I should be, and I know that I'm not there. I know that we're not there as a church. And I wonder what I can do about it. I'm wondering if there is a support group we can provide for people struggling right now. I can lead it in person. I can lead it online. Some other people might be willing to hop in. It just takes being real. It just takes being honest. Struggle is part of life. A little anger, a little frustration, a little depression, it's a wicked combination. And I'm afraid some days that I'm not going to be able to rise above it. And maybe you are too. So at the risk of being overdramatic, where's the church going to go from here? What are God's people going to do? What is Hillside going to do? Are you out there? Are you listening? Raise your hand. Say, I'm here. Say, I'm with you. Hey, even if you say, hey, I've got another direction, God bless you. Not going to be back. We'll miss you, but we love you. We want the best for you. Okay, now I'm starting to ramble. I think it's good to cry out. Sometimes the best thing we can do is cry out and lament to God. And come together in our brokenness and realize that challenges are difficult, challenges are overwhelming at times. And I promise I'll pray for you, and you pray for me, and we will not give up hope. And we will continue to thrive and not just survive. God's blessings.